What's going on, Broseph? Welcome back to the Leaky First Company Coil channel. For those of you guys who have been watching, know that I have an entire property full of leaking First Company coils. See, that's First Company. Yeah, this one's frozen up as well, so probably gonna be a leaky coil. See that ice there? We'll see. It's definitely low on refrigerant. Cut the fan on and melt the rest of that ice. Go get him a new filter. I'll be back. Alright, we should be thawed out by now. Let's go ahead and turn the fan off. Peel this filter that was stuck to the ice off. Drop our new one in, and we'll go fill it up with refrigerant to the correct pressures. I brought my leak detector, so we'll get it to the correct pressures, and then we'll come back up here and find the leak. I'll just start recording all these because, as I said on the last video, it's a 20-minute video. I don't know if a lot of you guys had time to watch it, but I said when I first got here a year ago, I started making a list of all the leaky First Company coils. I was like, I'll just make a list and then slowly replace them. Well, I got to 50. I got the 50 leaking coils, and I just balled up the list and threw it in the trash. I was like, screw it, I can't do all this. I've had to replace five coils, and I've been here for 1 year. And the property is only 3 years old. So, like I said on the last video as well, it's not the work that gets to me, it's the fact that someone's been ripped off. 3-year-old property, 50 leaking coils. Alright, let's go fill it up. I guess it'd help if I turn the unit on. It's 75 in here, we'll bump it down to 72. Alright. Yeah, super low. 59 psi, 60, that's really low. And for you new guys, I also keep an eye on this number here. See, that's the saturation, 9 degrees. That's why it freezes and turns into ice, because it's below 32. Below 32 is freezing, you know, and that's at 8 degrees. So that's why all that ice comes up. I keep an eye on that number as well. So let's get the air out of the system. We don't want air getting in our system here, so I mean get the air out of the lines, that is, not your system. We don't want air getting into the system, and that's why I bleed the line real quick. And now we can enter refrigerant into the mix. So I'm going to get this subcool up to 12 because it's a TXV. If it was a piston up there, I would be worried about the superheat, but since it's a TXV, we're going to get that to 12. I'll just start titling these videos HVAC for beginners, man. All the blow and goes I'm gonna have to do. Gas and goes. So yeah, I'll just keep popping it with refrigerant, putting refrigerant in until it gets to 12 degrees, subcool. I'll be back, then we'll look for the leak. Alright, we're slowly coming up. As you can see, this is 40 degrees now. It was at 9 degrees, so we're out of danger of freezing. There was one time, a long time ago, I could not get the saturation above 32. I just kept adding refrigerant. Would not go above 32 degrees on the saturation. And what happened was the fire damper closed in the plenum on the unit. So watch out for that. You know, if you're ever dumping refrigerant in there, you just keep dumping and this number doesn't change. Go check the fire damper in the plenum. Yeah, I had an airflow issue. So there's a little tech tip for you. Could be something else as well, but that was a tricky one for me. So that's why I watched this number as well, the saturation, along with the superheat and the subcool. Yeah, the old fire damper was closed. And then when I figured it out and I opened it, man, these numbers went straight to the roof. The freaking high pressure switch cut the unit off. It was embarrassing. I had to recover refrigerant, but Hey, we win some, we learn some. That was definitely a learning moment, so keep an eye on your saturation number as well. And if you can't get that above 32 and you keep dumping refrigerant, check for the fire damper in the plenum. The plenum is above the air handler inside. All right, let me get this to 12 and we'll go check for the leak. I like to get my little screwdriver and engrave these things. That don't wash off like a marker does. That will rust and will never go away. Nice and labeled. All right, I got this baby at 12 degrees subcool. Around 12 degrees subcool. Once again, it is a rotary compressor. Can't get them below 20 degrees on the superheat, like I've said in the previous videos. But I bet up at the coil it's around 19 degrees or so. So, hey, I just deal with it. I didn't build the place. Now let's go look for the leak. All right, now we're back in the apartment. Let's turn the unit off and look for the leak. I'll put a filter in there when I do the charge because it can get wonky if you don't put the filter in. Like you can tell when someone puts a filter in when you're down there doing the charge because you'll see the suction pressure drop. All right, grab the leak detector. You let it warm up. These things got to warm up. Once it starts giving me the beepy beep, I'll be back. All right, here we go. Another First Company coil. Oh, it's already chirping. Ah. Right there. Another leaker. Guys, I'm not kidding you. When I said I was keeping a list and I got to 50, I just threw the list away. They're all leaking. It's a 300 unit property. And it's not the work that gets to me, it's just like the fact that somebody got ripped off and you call people and they're like, oh, well, I mean, you know, it's just, we've never had any problems with it. They don't come out to try to remedy the situation. Nothing. They're just like, oh well, that's the nature of the beast. See you later. $500,000 spent on this crap. All right, I have to order another one. What do we got here? First Company 32 UX. All right. $2,000 a pop. Glad I'm getting it all on video and no one would ever believe me. I've been at this 20 years, never worked at a 3-year-old property where all the coils were leaking. Job security. Alright, well it was 75 in here when we showed up. It's already brought the temperature down to 74, which is good. I'll bump them up to 75 where they had it and drive on with my day. We got a no cooling call. The on-call guy was here. It was an old head scratcher for him. Couldn't really figure it out. Looks like the system is in delay. See how the blinking? See the cool on blinking? That means delay. That's odd. This is a straight cool. We usually don't have delays. I don't know where they got that thermostat from. He said the fuse was popping. But then he put a new fuse in, and now it's in delay. Alright, this thing is staying. This thing is staying in delay. Hasn't come out of delay. That's not really one of our thermostats either, so let's see here. I'm gonna turn the power off and see what's going on here. So I can get the cover off this thing. Makes you wonder if they gotta set the heat pump or something. Got an old head scratcher here for sure. Alright, I pulled green and red out of the thermostat. Got them jumped out here. Red is the power coming to the thermostat, and green is for the fan. Let's just see if we can get the fan to come on and see if we have power. Low voltage power anyway. Yeah. So the fan's on. Okay. We're getting somewhere now. Kind of weird, but we're getting somewhere. The fan came on. Now I'm going to throw yellow. I'm going to jump out yellow, red, and green. See if I can get the outside to come on, the outside condenser. Alright, I got my big jumper here. I call it the octopus. I actually made it, and I will leave a link in the description below if you want to see how to make it. It's real easy. So I'm going to jump red. Jump out red, that's the power coming in. To green, that's for the fan, and then I got the yellow unhooked out of the thermostat. So that'll get the indoor fan and the outdoor condenser to come on. If the fuse pops, then I know the problem is on this yellow wire, because that's the wire going out to the condenser. Probably a bad contactor or something. But yeah, I just took a wire nut, some electrical tape, and cut the wires. Order these off Amazon. Again, I'll leave a link if you're interested in a nice jumper. I like to get it all going, you know, instead of just 2 wires, I got 4. So if you got a heat pump, you can throw the orange in there, the orange wire, but this is a straight cool, so no need for all that. So I'm going to turn the power back on and let's see what happens. Let's see. Nothing. I'm wondering if the fuse popped now. Meaning, bad contactor. I got everything jumped out. It should be coming on. It came on immediately when I just had the red and green, but since I threw the yellow in there, it's not coming on. So I bet it popped the fuse. So let's take the cover off and check. Turn the breaker off first. Alright, I got the front cover off. Fuse is right here on this board. See if it popped it. No, it's still good. Still good. Got a weird one here. Got an old head smasher here. So we're still jumped out, same as before. Got a nice delay going on here. For a straight cool, they usually just come right on. Come on, baby. They jumped out yellow for the float switch. So that'd be for the condenser, not the inside. So if it was the float switch, the inside would still come on because they have yellow jumped out on the float switch. Man, I came back in, I could smell something. This transformer, it's hot. Whew, smells like it's cooking. So it never blew the fuse? That's odd. That was the original call. The fuse blew. No, it's still good. Wow. Let me go outside and check the contactor before we go any further. This is really weird. I went outside to see if the condenser was on and it wasn't. And I came in, I said, whoa, something smells like it's cooking. And that transformer is really hot. Well, there was no issue until I introduced the yellow wire into the mix. That's when I started smelling the burning. When I had just green and red, the fan came on, no issues. bust out the old contactor here. Alright, one lead on one side of the contactor and one lead on the other for you new cats. The sides are the low voltage and the top and bottom are the high voltage. So this is 120 or 240 and the sides are low voltage, 24 volts. So I'm touching both sides and 1.13. That's a bad contactor. I don't know if you'll be able to see that number, but we'll give it a shot. Touching both sides of the contactor. 1.1. So that is a bad contactor. I brought a new one. Let's do a good one. So a good one should read 14.6. So that's how I know this is a bad contactor. Alright, it's not hard to change out a contactor. Power is off, by the way. I want to make sure the power's off. I just don't know why it didn't pop the fuse. Might have to change that transformer out too, because it was smelling cooked. I just trusted that fuse to pop. That was the original call from the on-call guy. He showed up and the fuse was popped. Boy, that choke is on there tight. Put the new fuse in, didn't pop it. Weird. There we go. Where's my new one at? There it is. Jay Booty, what's going on, Skid? We got a bad contact abrasive. Reading 1.5 ohms. Alright, new contactor is on. Hook the low voltage back up. To the sides. These fuses on these units are really weird. I hooked up my Schwartz finder one time and I guess it's such low voltage. I don't know, my fuse finder, my fuse popper thing wouldn't pick up, so it wasn't working. So these are weird, man. Alright, Skid, we don't have any doggone new transformers in the shop. Let's just see if we're getting high voltage here. Should have 120. Yep, 120, and we should have 24 volts coming out of the bottom, or around 24, 27. So the 27.9. So the transformer's still good. It was just heating up. That's what I smelled. I'm gonna roll the dice and hook it back up. So for you new guys, man, all HVAC is high voltage controlling low voltage. It comes in from the breaker here at high voltage, 240 or 120. Then the transformer transforms it, hence the name, no pun intended, transforms it into low voltage, and it comes out, and that's what powers your low voltage, your thermostat and everything. Alright, transformer hooked back up. Fuse is good. Come on, big money, no whammy. I'll be back. It's in a delay. Boom, there we go. See how the cool-on stopped blinking? I don't know why they got a heat pump thermostat on here. I don't know if it's their personal, because we usually use these for straight cool. There's no delay. So I had to wait for the old heat pump delay, which is not a heat pump. So that's on. Let's go see if the outside's on. Alright, the outside's on. This is the one. Whew, got away with one, Skid. Glad I didn't burn that transformer up. God almighty. Moving some good heat. They're gonna be good to go. Alright, let me go button it up. Oh, we did it, Skid. We did it, Skid. We got it going. Thanks for keeping me company, big dog. Let's get the old cover on here. Yeah, just an old bad contactor on the condenser outside. That's it. That was the culprit. Alright, it's been a good 10 minutes. I like to hang out with the unit for a little while, especially when it's a weird one. Still got power, everything's still running. Transformer got hot, but it didn't fry and break. Hallelujah. Let's see what we're blowing out the vent at. Ah, it's definitely cold. 57. Ah, get up closer here. Little reflection on there. 57. 55. It's coming on down. That's what I want to see. All right, they're gonna be good to go. Roll on, little doggy. Keep them doggies rolling one by one.